Let's quickly talk about the top 5 best high risk merchant account service providers. So, if you are in that category, if you are a high risk merchant, if you are looking for a merchant account service provider, you want to watch this show from A to Z. So, here's a review I really want you to pay attention to, boss. Number 5, we have Soar Payments. Our score 8.6 over 10. So Soar Payments is kind of cool for US based businesses. And in terms of payment methods that are processed, you have credit cards, ACH, and e-check. Fantastic. Now, the thing is, there is a very hefty early termination fee. That's $495. So before you actually tie the knots with the Soar Payments, be very careful. You want to think twice, because if you want to really break the ties later on, it will cost you nearly $500. Now, transaction fees start at around 2.49% for mid-risk merchants. So overall, what we love about Soar Payments is that they work with high-risk merchants in dozens of industries to provide payment processing for credit card, ACH, and e-check payments. It supports businesses in industries including many not mentioned by other service providers, such as antiques and collectibles. You have bus lines, you have country clubs, you have sports betting, you have SaaS, so software as a service companies, you have fantasy sports, pet products, nonprofits, and what have you. And by the way, boss, welcome back to the show. It's really a pleasure to have you here to have this convo about the high risk merchant account service providers. And one thing I want to say here is that with Soar Payments, you can fill out an application online to get an instant price code to sign via DocuSign, no offline paperwork. And the company states upfront what it does not work with businesses in this industries. It does it very clearly. Adult products, they don't do it. Cryptocurrencies, they don't do it. Debt collection relief, they don't do it. Foreign exchange, gambling, they don't do it. Like, marijuana, they don't do it. Payday loans, they don't do it. Pharmaceuticals, they don't do it. Tech support, they don't do it. Hit or racial content, they don't do it. So this is really important to be clear about that. It also does not work with businesses engaging in illegal activity, those with very bad credit or match listed merchants. And so who should really use it? Soar Payments is best for US-based merchants with fair or better credit and in medium risk, uncontroversial industries. What are the pros and cons here? Pros: you have an instant price code with all online application, strong US-based customer support system, and industry minimum pricing. What about the cons here? No support for businesses with bad credit rating and doesn't work with ultra high risk businesses. Number 4, we have here SMB Global. Our score 9 over 10. So what we love about SMB Global is that it's great for international merchants. So in terms of payment methods, you have 2 payment gateways and plus international options. You have an early termination fee of $500. So again, it can be very costly to severe ties with SMB Global. It's kind of similar to Soar Payments, and so this is great for high risk merchants. And there is no, in terms of transaction fees, no standard fee you must contact for a quote. So what we love about SMB Global is that they work with high-risk merchants worldwide to provide payment processing for credit cards, ACH, or e-checks. It specializes in travel and other high-risk merchants. It works with more than a dozen banks around the world to find the best transaction rates for your business. You also have the option of working with 2 different payment gateway solutions depending on your needs. So you have a Network Merchants, Inc. and Authorized.net. And so SMB Global works with high-risk merchants in industries including travel, debt consolidation, auto transport, furniture, e-cigarettes and tobacco, nutraceuticals, herbal supplements. So if you operate a static or mobile storefront and need to accept payments in person, you may be able to get a free EMV terminal or mobile reader. And so this is a nice bonus, as card readers can easily cost about $100 or more. Okay, so this is kind of cool. But boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. What are we having a conversation about? We are talking about the top 5 best high-risk merchant account service providers. And so who should really use SMB Global? Now, SMB Global, as the name suggests, is a great fit for high-risk businesses with an international customer base. What are the pros and cons here? Pros: accept international payments at the fair rates. Works with businesses with bad credit. You have lots of popular software integrations. You have free terminals only available for certain qualifying businesses. Requirements may not be disclosed. Okay, so and what about the cons? Now, you must contact for pricing details, and app integrations are not listed on the website. So this is something you have to think about. But overall, this is a great service provider. They have excellent customer service. They do have a lot of integrations. For example, they have more than 175 to 200 shopping cart integrations. So this is kind of cool. So if you operate something online, you will love this provider. Number three, we have Durango Merchant Services. Our score 9.1 over 10. So when you think about Durango, I want you to think about a player that is great for highest risk businesses, like very, very high risk businesses. Like they don't play, like they're very going high. So payment methods, ACH, e-check, cryptocurrencies, and more. They take everything. They take everything. Early termination fee, there's none, which is fantastic, right? You have, in terms of transaction fees, you typically start at around 1%. So Durango, in our view, specifically caters to high risk merchants, making it one of the best service providers for the highest risk merchants, including annual memberships, bail bonds, online electronics, gaming, multi level marketing, debt services, fortune telling, firearms. They do everything. Businesses with low credit risk score, and you have a multi-currency merchant account. So the thing that SOAR Payments and SMB Global doesn't want, they like those two, they don't want. Durango said, just bring it to me, bring it to me, bring it to me. I take everything. So Durango lets you get paid via ACH, e-check, and cryptocurrencies, and in multiple currencies. And its sincere specialization in higher risk merchants makes it, in our view, a strong ally for your business. So, and this is where Durango really is trying to really kick ass in terms of specialization, in terms of really like specializing themselves and really sort of carving out a certain niche for themselves in this industry. So who should really use it? Durango is best for the highest risk merchants, especially if you have limited options for merchant services or have been rejected or had an account terminated in the past. What are the pros and cons here? Well, now they do cater to very high risk businesses. You have fraud protection services and education, and you have a processing for cryptocurrency payments. What about the cons? Well, there is complete lack of transparency when it comes to pricing. So fees are not listed online. You have to reach out for a quote. Okay, and you can be in for a bad surprise. I mean, bad in terms of they will charge you a lot. I mean, basically they were offering a service to a very high risk category. Of course, they will be charging for it anyway. So, this is really what it is. Number two, we have a host merchant services. Our score, boss, 9.5 over 10. So the great thing is that if you want to go with the host merchant services, you want to really think about a provider that's great for large high risk businesses in terms of payment methods. You have credit cards, you have Apple Pay, you have Android Pay, you have PayPal, and more. So you have a whole constellation of payment services here, payment methods here. There is no early termination fee. We love that a lot. That's a breath of fresh air. Tell me about it. So Durango is doing the same thing. Only SMB Global and SOAR Payments are kind of killing you with like $500 in early cancellation fee. In terms of transaction fees, you can go as low as a 20% plus 9 cents. So Host Merchant Services partners with electronic merchant systems to provide services for high risk merchants. So through the service, you can accept payments via credit card or ACH online, in person, or through a mobile POS. So HMS offers merchant account services for tons of high-risk businesses, including debt collection and recovery, adult novelties and toys, e-cigarettes, life coaching, airlines, offshore businesses, loan modification companies, some travel companies, timeshares. You have gambling and casinos, you have modeling agencies, you have pawn shops, and you have real estate. I mean, real estate is not really a high-risk industry, but hey, listen, it depends on the kind of real estate that you are doing, okay? So the company also specifies that it may be able to provide services to businesses selling anything that borders on illegal. I mean, don't ask me what that means, but I mean, just ask Host Merchant Services what that really means, okay? I don't want the FBI to sort of knock on my door and start asking questions. So who should really use it? So Host Merchant Services is really great, really great for businesses that process $10,000 or more in sales every single month. So if you are in that category, if you are pulling that much revenue, boss, you might want to consider HMS. I want to quickly remind you before I continue here. I want to remind you of today's topic. We're having a conversation about the top 5 best high-risk merchant account service providers. And so here are the pros and cons here. So pros, HMS works with a huge variety of industries. You have great customer service, no monthly account fee, and they do support for no-cost credit card processing. What about the cons? They have high rates for new or very small businesses. So something to really know about. And number one, the best of the best in our view when it comes to the top 5 high-risk merchant account service providers, you have Payment Cloud. Our score 9.8 over 10. So this is the best overall. We just love Payment Cloud. They do their job really fantastically. In terms of payment methods, you have credit cards, you have ACH, you have e-check, you have crypto. Can you imagine that? They actually offer everything. They actually provide the whole 9 yards. They give you the whole 9 yards. Fantastic. A multitude of payment methods. There is no early termination fee. We love that. It's a breath of fresh air, again, compared to maybe a SOAR or SMB Global. And in terms of transaction fees, you can go as low as 2.9%. 2.9% plus 30 cents. So Payment Cloud is one of the easiest high-risk merchant account providers to use, and it really boasts excellent customer service. With this account, you can accept credit card, ACH, e-check, or cryptocurrency payments through P.O.S, mobile, or online checkout. If you need hardware to swipe or enter cards, Payment Cloud will give you a free retail or mobile EMV terminal when you sign up for a zero-cost credit card processing account. In other words, if they offer your customer cash payment discounts. Fantastic. And Payment Cloud caters to low, medium, and high-risk merchants. So they really cover a multitude. They cover the whole 9 yards. Okay, they actually cover the whole gamut of merchants. So credit repairs, they do it. Adult products, they do it. Guns and firearms, they do it. Nutraceuticals, they do it. Tech support, they do it. You name it, they do it. Dating sites, they do it. Cigars and tobacco, they do it. Jet charter, they take care of you, not a problem. So who should really use it? So Payment Cloud is a good choice for high-risk merchants in a variety of industries, from credit repair to dating sites, especially those with a high volume of monthly sales. What are the pros and cons here? Pros, highly rated customer support. They have lots of popular software integrations. So this is what we love a lot when it comes to Payment Cloud. Okay, you have support for no-cost credit card processing. This is kind of cool. So if you have a no-cost credit card processing, Payment Cloud will still take care of you. They'll still answer your calls. They'll still cover your account from a customer service perspective. What are the cons here? Fees are not shared online, so there's a complete lack of transparency here. And you do have to think about a monthly payment gateway fee. So this is something to really think about. But overall, this is really worth it. Before I close today's conversation, I really want to have a quick overview about the whole high-risk merchant account service provision thing. Okay, what is considered a high-risk merchant? Because we got to go back to the origins, so we have a clear idea about what we're speaking about. So, boss, when you close your eyes, I want you to think about a high-risk merchant as basically an industry, or let's say a player, a company that is in an industry that is not regular, that is not traditional. So a payment processor may label a merchant account as high risk if they have determined your business account is a higher risk for chargebacks, fraud, or a high volume of returns. So the greater the risk, the harder it will be to find a traditional bank or payment processing service provider. Still, you're not out of luck, as many vendors specialize in serving high-risk businesses. So the thing here is that now there are a couple of reasons why you as a merchant, you may be considered high risk. Let's say you have high transaction value. You accept international payments. You are a new merchant. You are in a high-risk industry. You have a low credit score. All those things will qualify. And there are certain types of businesses that are commonly considered high risk. For example, adult industry, travel, including airlines, cruises, and vacation planners, furniture and electronic stores, gambling, online dating, e-commerce, multi-level marketing, e-cigarette, okay, the CDB, cannabidiol, and vape shops, subscription services, and companies with recurring payment plans, debt collection. So this is really important to really to cast a water net in terms of analyzing what a high risk merchant account service provider can actually cover. So how do you choose a high risk account service provider? Well, think about three things. Who does the vendor accept? Even account providers that specialize in high risk merchants do not accept all businesses. So if you are an offshore company, have a very poor credit, or operate an especially higher risk business, look for vendors that cater specifically to your circumstances. For example, Payment Cloud. For example, Host Merchant Services. For example, Durango. Okay, and you have higher fees, so vendors tend to balance their risk in serving your business by charging higher fees than low risk merchants would pay. And your credit score matters. So business owners or businesses' low credit score could impact the approval odds for a merchant account. So if you are being rejected for merchant accounts, you may have to work on your credit score for a better chance. Okay. So, but the thing is, when you apply for a merchant account, you will be required to provide business and tax documents. So after your application has been processed, your payment provider will assess whether you are a high risk or a low risk merchant and adapt their plan accordingly. Let me give you a few pro tips before we close to this conversation. It's really important to understand that when you are thinking about analyzing a high risk merchant account service provider, you got to have a clear idea about the methodology you want to choose. And to choose vendors that are actually best fit for high risk merchants, you need to think about a few things. Think about the pricing. Oh, yeah, this is really important. Think about the features. So different businesses will have a varying levels of needs. So companies that provide versatile options to meet those needs will receive a higher score in your analysis, and they should. Okay, and you also want to pay attention to customer support. You gotta have a available support, because if you have a problem, you don't want to be on the phone for like 24 hours and nobody's getting back to you. You don't want that. You also want to make sure you want to go online, you want to watch shows like this, you want to read reviews online, third-party reviews, you want to get reviews from us, go to Trustpilot, go to Capterra, go to the Triple B, Better Business Bureau. You really want to cast a water net in terms of the analysis to make sure you're getting yourself the best deal. And so you might need a merchant account. Why? Because if you want your business to accept credit cards and debit cards, you will need a merchant account. And a merchant account is a necessary intermediary drawing funds between your customer's bank account and depositing those funds into your business's bank account. So think about a merchant account as the middleman. And what type of businesses are considered to be high risk? As I said before, you have a constellation of businesses. It depends on the industry you're in. But yes, things like vape shops, things like debt collection, things like adults, gambling, MLM, multi-level marketing, those things, online dating, you have it. And so it's really important for you to really think also about the fees. Otherwise, you will be paying a lot in terms of fees, and you will not be able to, to actually monetize your operation. So be very careful here in terms of whom you want to deal with. And one thing I want to say here also is that if you want to be considered low risk, if you don't want to be labeled as a high risk merchant, try to really do a couple of things. You want to reduce your chargeback fees. You want to reduce, for example, you want to change the industry you're in, because some industries are intrinsically inherently high risk, like adults, online dating. You're not going to change. Like, it doesn't matter however you twist it, it is still a high risk industry. So it is what it is. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. In today's conversation, I really wanted to talk to you about our top 5 best high-risk merchant account service providers. I want to show you the approach we follow when we categorize high-risk merchant account service providers. Now, we actually lump this category in the same category as the POS software providers, because if you, no matter the industry you're in, you're going to have to find a way to collect payments. And so I want you to watch right now on the screen our criteria when it comes to analysis. Check this out. All right, let me quickly recap today's conversation. So, number one, we have Payment Cloud, our score 9.8 over 10. Number two, we have a Host Merchant Services, 9.5 over 10. Number three, we have here Durango Merchant Services, 9.1 over 10. Number four, we have SMB Global, 9 over 10. And number five, last but not the least, we have Soar Payments, our score 8.6 over 10. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. I'll see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.